In a distant cave in a faraway place sat three anthropomorphized imps. They spent their days held fast against a cold and damp floor, their only stimulation being that of the shadows that dance across a parallel wall. Just out of sight sits a familiar figure, operating the shadowy manifestations along the wall and silently recording the observations. One day, the door to the dungeon flies open, revealing a figure adorned in tattered robes. They also brandish a sword, not knowing what possible terrors they might come across. This shrouded figure examines the three Faustian creatures bound to the floor by chains, then addresses their captor.
Plato, I have traveled many, many days to see you. For this very moment, I believed you to be the wisest man in all of Athens. But now that I see this peculiar arrangement, I'm confused. What is the purpose of this? I've not heard that name in ages. It has been many a moon since I've seen Athens. Who might you be? I am Aristotle, a fellow philosopher. In my search for more wisdom, I've set voyage for you. But now my heart grows heavy with regret. What is your business with these damned creatures?
Upon completing my most famous thought experiment, I knew two things for certain. First, knowledge of philosophy will be unfamiliar to those held metaphorically in bondage. However, gracing these people with said knowledge may also prove difficult if you go about educating them in the wrong way. Once we gain this knowledge, we will no longer be reliant on sight, sound, or taste, but instead understand the metaphysical and gain an understanding and appreciation for excellence in concurrent forms of art. Second, I discovered that man is juxtaposed to his rational faculties, and once given the time to adjust to this greater understanding of things, he will most likely be aligned to that which is virtuous and good.
So, you took it upon yourself to find something which is inherently wicked, to see if the light of philosophy would guide them towards virtue. Why is it that they are still chained?
They were beyond help.
Where did I put my hydro flask?
With all due respect, Plato, I am inclined to disagree with you. Though I also believe in man's capacity for good, there are also obstacles besides ignorance that prevent us from an overall virtuous life. The real world is filled with vices, people who are too weak-willed not to succumb to them. A drunkard on the street knows the immorality of theft, but his ravenous hunger for wine and illicit substances prevent him from acting accordingly. In fact, looking at these infernal creatures remind me of men who are unable to live virtuously, whether it be through circumstance, vice, or perpetual ignorance. I have learned in my life that virtue, and by extension just behavior, is not completely brought about through knowledge. Instead, I've determined that virtue is merely the average of two extreme character traits. You can only learn of these extremes through experience, and these averages can vary upon perspective of the individual. I know we share similar ideas of politics, have similar ideas of the benefits of knowledge. However, I feel that your scope of knowledge narrows at the idea of the cultivation of virtue and its origin.
It seems as though the Delphic oracles were wrong. Alas, we've met a man wiser than my predecessor. Come along with me, I have something to show you.
Well, I appreciate your compliment. I assure you, you are sadly mistaken. The only thing I know for sure is that I know nothing.
Nonsense, nonsense. Come along with me.
I have spent many years in this cave, trying my damnedest to recreate that lightning in a bottle that I once did with my previous thought experiment. You have built upon my previous ideas and furthered the ideas of philosophy, and with that, I give you my banner so that you may further perfect the art of thinking.
Take my banner, look onward to the light, and become the greatest mind in all of Athens. Go!